How do you think that we get more women to start their own business?
I think there are a couple of things that are important. The first one is about raising aspirations through the education system and actually getting many, many more role models who schoolgirls have access to, and a very diverse range of role models. So the wider the range of role models and entrepreneurial role models that girls get access to starts to build their aspiration, and that then carries through university or whatever their working life is. But we know that role modelling is probably one of the most significant factors that will determine somebody's career choice, whether it's into science, other types of business or entrepreneurship.
Why do you think that so many women chose not to be entrepreneurs?
I think overall the numbers of female entrepreneurs are a lot lower than male entrepreneurs, but the growth rate of female entrepreneurs is actually a lot faster. So there are still more women going into entrepreneurship compared to their male counterparts in terms of their rate of growth. But I think again, a lot of it comes down to risk aversion and about the fact that to set up a business, it does take an enormous amount of resilience, it takes an enormous amount of courage, and I think actually it also takes a lot of stubbornness and belief in what you're doing. And I think for women those factors actually can be quite difficult, because I think a lot of women will look at creating a business and try to get everything just right so that they can then launch the business. Whereas we know that men by comparison will say, well, let's get it up and running, let's get it moving, and then we start tweaking and refining it. And I think those sorts of barriers start to become quite significant. And a lot of those are internal, but again, it comes back to the point that if you have a wide enough range of role models, then you've got different business models that can influence women. I think the other thing as well is recognizing that the types of sectors women may go into have potentially quite low barriers to entry, but then are not particularly profitable either. So if you're going into services, personal services or food-based businesses, barriers to entry are very low. And we see this from the moment you start working with school children and university students and you talk about entrepreneurship ideas. More often than not, the girls will come up with the more personal-based services or beauticians or food products, which means there aren't the same, you don't need the same degree of innovation because they're very easy to access, which means you need less money, but it also it's a much more competitive market. So again, it's about raising the bar, or in terms of what types of businesses women can aspire to, what intellectual capital they need to do that, and what resources, financial and intellectually, they need in order to move into the higher growth businesses.
Have you got any advice for women who want to start their own business?
I think the baseline is if you're excited and interested about trying something, you go and you do it. We know that women bring in very, very different ways of thinking, diverse thinking, and we know that's the discussion underpinning board performance. And when you have diverse boards, the companies perform a lot better. So that strength is there, and that strength actually becomes critical in terms of being innovative, trying new things, learning from them, not being afraid to make a mistake, picking yourself up and doing it again, because actually that resilience is just part and parcel of the female psyche, and it's an absolutely critical component of any entrepreneurial thinking.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.